do it again. I go back and do it in a heartbeat.
All over again. I would do it all over again. And the feeling of it is really hard to describe. It's something that you have to go through, because I tell people that it was like a semester away at college, because we did have classwork. We weren't just sitting back, pumping iron all day or working out in the gym or PT. We had presentations. We had to write papers, 2 and 3 papers for one class, and you have 5 classes. And, so your head's in the books that they give you. And then you have the additional physical part of it. So it was definitely intense and challenging mentally and physically.
What would you be doing if you weren't police officer?
Oh, that's a hard question. After over 20 years in the business, it's hard to imagine doing anything else. Initially, I was a secretary for years before I had the opportunity to actually follow my dream of going into law enforcement. So, being a secretary, that paid the bills and took care of my daughter and everything. And then going into law enforcement, I can't imagine myself doing anything else. So I'm sure that I'll be retiring from it, when the time comes, no time soon, but when the time comes, I'll be retiring from it and want to look back and say, I did the best that I could at that career. So,
well, you seem to have done like a lot of firsts. And do you ever see yourself as being, and I have mixed emotions when I hear people say first, because like you're the first female officer from Delaware County go through the FBI Academy.
Yes.
I think that's great, but I also think it's bad. You should be the 30th,
Oh,
or
yeah.
something,
Yeah.
And when you hear that and people tout it, you think, well, it's good. But we're behind, Do you ever see first female police chief?
That's always in the future. For me, it's always a thought. But I tell people all the time when they ask me that, sometimes number 2 is the best spot to be in. You can push it up or push it down. So, I'm in a good place right now. I believe that, I think with any person in law enforcement, a lot of them, or a lot of us, who doesn't want to be chief? That's the head honcho.
I'll tell you who doesn't want to be chief, the current chief.
Yeah.
That's the answer to that question. It's the chief. I can tell you the answer to that question. That's who doesn't want to be chief.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of work that comes with that, as well as status and as I said, number 2, I'm good. I'm good right now.
My assistant chief has been my assistant chief the whole time I've been chief. Mm-hmm. And when this happened originally and they had somebody they could point to position, the deal we made was that I would do it for 6 months. Mm-hmm. That was 15 years ago. And I've said to him, I'll step back. Why don't you do it for a while? And he said, and I'll make this radio quote, and he said I said, why don't you want to be chief? And he said, because he used the Star Trek analogy, and he said, Kirk gets more women, but Spock gets shot at less.
True.
And that's been his drive. And everybody I've ever said that to who's second in command said, yep.
That's exactly right. Oh, yeah, he's got to deal with all the politicians and, all the appearances. Sometimes he drags me along, which is fine. I get to meet people, but he's still in the spotlight, sitting on a throne. And I'm fine with that.
Right.
I'm fine being support. I'm fine. You got it. So yeah, eventually I'm sure that'll be in my future eventually, but right now I'm good where I'm sitting.
So if you ever think about teaching?
I would actually love to teach.
You'd be good at teaching, I think.
Thanks. I would actually love to teach at one of the universities or, adults. When I was the DARE officer, I got pretty much got my fill of, the school kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to teach at a university or something. And
kids are a little extra sassy nowadays, and you can't just.
Yeah. Back when I was in school, they used to paddle. That I'm dating myself, but yeah, at a university or just kind of bring my perspective to those who are considering coming into the business. I would love to do that.
That'd be an interesting role. in your department, you said there's about 24 people or so?
Right now, I believe there's like 27.
27. And how many square miles you guys cover?
We have 2 square miles.
Okay, so you are a small department.
We're small.
But you're next to a big department.
Right.
And see, that's what people don't realize is that crime moves.
Yeah.
Crime travels. And it could be random, it could be whatever, but it's not stationary as much anymore. What's your favorite thing about the job?
It's being out there, not behind a desk. When I was a secretary for all those years before I came into the business, one of the things that I looked forward to was not sitting behind a desk all day. You're out there, you're seeing people, you're meeting people, greeting people, just riding around in the car by yourself, alone time, which is one of the things that allowed me to actually, when I decided to go back to school, you do get downtime and, you are by yourself and you can kind of think about what you need to do or think about your future. And one of the things that I told myself when I came into this business and being the first female at this department was that I was not going to give anyone a reason to hold me down. So because of that, I decided I would get my bachelor's and decided I would get my master's because then there's nothing that you can hold against me to say, oh no, you're not qualified or
right.
No, you can't do this or no, so I'm not going to give anyone a reason to not allow me to advance. So, with that, there was no reason for me to be able to move up the ladder.
You had to work, I don't want to say work harder, but you had to work harder.
Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of one of those things where, if there's a bar fight, I better be jumping on top of the pile because they pay attention to that. I better be involved because it's just like if you're in an incident, and you look to the side and see one of your guys just standing there fixing his hair in the mirror or something, his reputation is down the tube. Like, I can never trust you. I can never go on a call with you. I can never, do the job with you because I know that you don't have my back. So it's kind of one of those things where you just got to be in it. You got to be one of the guys. You got to have thick skin. Because as a female, you definitely need thick skin.
Do you think you're tougher on women?
Oh, yes.
Okay, yes. I wanted to subtly go there. I didn't want to, because I'm
tougher on women in law enforcement. Women, as far as citizens, I try not to lecture, you know what I mean? Because everybody's not me. Everybody's not going to think the way that I think. But
I think you fail at that probably more than you think. Try not to.
Yeah. Because I'll tell people all the time, like, come on, man, come on. You could do better than this, But as far as women in law enforcement, I'm very hard on them women in law enforcement.
But I don't see you being real tolerant if a woman shows up with like a pedicure and real pretty and look
with the long fingernails. Yeah. No, we just recently hired a young lady, and she's young. And I did have a conversation with her and, kind of made my position very clear. And I gave her some very sound advice by, pretty much telling her that your reputation is everything. You cannot do what the men do when it comes to certain things. Okay. Now, as far as strictly business, don't act like you're, a damsel in distress or that you cannot do the job, because that will follow you everywhere you go. She's held up well. She's, and she's held her own. So I'm hoping or thinking that was my little bit of advice that is keeping her, head above water at this point. But a pris in this job just does not work because you're going to get somebody hurt.
Right.
So you at least have to be able to either Jedi mind trick your way out of something or fight your way out of something, if it comes to that.
And there aren't a lot of young Jedis.
Yeah. So, it's just skills that she'll develop and that, the younger guys will develop as their careers go on.
So I kind of was getting that feeling that because of what you've been through, you'd be supportive.
Yeah.
You'd be an ally, but not a diaper.
Exactly. Right. Like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to hold your hand. I don't hold my guy's hands. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hold her hand or give her favor, not because I didn't get it, but because I didn't get it, it made me...
Well, it's not helping her to do that. Right, exactly. It always seems like it's helping her.
Exactly.
And people don't realize that a lot when they think they're helping somebody. They're not.
Right.
They're making themselves feel better.
Yeah.
They're not helping them. Yeah. If you had a magic wand or a blank check for your department, if you could pick one of them and fix something, what would you do?
If I could fix something in my department?
Yeah, a problem. Department, community, or whatever. Magic wand, blank check.
A brand new police station. I'm serious.
So you
like, is that selfish for me to say that? Yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to say something like
world peace,
cure the opioid epidemic.
World peace.
New police station.
Well, you said a magic wand or a blank check, which means that I could spread the wealth. Now, after I get my new police station.
No, you said new police station. Don't and cure this.
And you said blank check.
Yeah.
I know, but it's for one thing. It's for one thing.
You didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't say that.
No, it's not like a lamp with. It's not like a lamp with a million wishes. You got.
Oh, come on.
You got to make.
Man.
Okay, so it was police station first, world peace second. Going by your own logic. New police station.
Well, if I only had to choose one. Now, see, you didn't say that was the stipulation that I couldn't choose more than one thing. You said if you had a blank check and a wand, that means that if there's endless possibilities. But now that you've narrowed the field.
But either way, the first thing you chose, new police station.
We need to be effective. We need to be effective in getting this world peace. Therefore, that would be our...
So we can't have world peace breaking out while we in this busted police station.
Exactly. I mean, if the computers don't work, we can't, go out and help people, and have world peace.
Is your police station small, old, or both?
All. Small, old, leaky roof, you name it. We make it work, but trust me when I tell you, it is definitely time.
It's the kind of situation, if you get a new police station, there won't be a lot of crying moving to the new place.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny because I see...
And that affects the morale now.
It does. It does. And but I also, I was talking to the Norristown police chief. They've got a real police station, and they, as a real community, suffer the real problems. No.
You said a real police station.
I know what I said.
Not a toy one?
No, as opposed to one that is a facade of one. Stop talking, Russell.
You're very unclear.
Yeah. When you go out and you have you go into some of these places and the police station or municipal building looks like an LA Fitness.
We just visited one department that will remain named, their police department. It was phenomenal. And I mean, fitness center, just the amenities in this thing was amazing. And it's just like, you got to think that the people who work there must, you must feel something when you walk through the door. Coming from nothing and seeing something like that, it definitely plays on your morale. It's just like, man, if I had I would have my own shower. It's just like, if you just say, it's the broken glass theory. You come to a place that's just beat down, do you really want to come there? That's where your paycheck is, but do you really want to come there as opposed to a place that just, of this phenomenal fitness center and it's got computers and TVs all over the place?
But I don't think that makes you better. I think that makes you the ability to be better, but it doesn't make you better.
No,
it's just like that. Just like that girl's got to go through her thing.
But it's all in the mind. It's all in your perception. It's all in how you feel. It's all in your surroundings. It's all in, if you ride through a neighborhood and you see a whole bunch of abandoned vehicles with flat tires, you don't think that's going to, like, pardon the pun, deflate you a little bit to see, these surroundings? Think about it.
No, you're right. But I think that what happens is when you go there and you see that, I think... years ago, I saw a guy argue with another guy, and they were at different economic levels, and they were going back and forth. And the guy said a very prolific statement. He said, "You think you're better than I am. You're not. you live better than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that with that fancy LA Fitness police station, I think that can be lost in there.
I would know because I'm LA Fitness.
But I'm sure you'd be happy to report back.
Yeah. I'll be happy to experience it for you and let you know how
Corner office with your massage chair.
That's correct.